deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
Every human being on this side of the planet, on this side of heaven and on this planet, have been lied to. Starting with your own parents. They lied to you. And you've been trying to live up to what they have told you and what your school told you, your church told you, your experts told you, and you've never been able to do it, and you never will. You got to lay your moral values down, and then you can live. You've been lied to. You've been told how to live, and you've been trying to live that way, and you have only gotten worse. Every human being. If you really doubt me, pay attention to your life, yourself. Are you better or worse? After all this time, however long you've been on earth, are you better or are you worse? Think about it. Are you a better off person, or are you worse after trying to live the way you've been told to live? Really, be honest with you so that you may go free. You've been lied to. You will never. And then if you have children, you teach that to your children, and you keep passing the misery on from generation to generation until some people finally wake up. And they go, what the? You've been lied to as to how to live. And that's why you're miserable, you're jealous, you're revengeful, you gossip, you want to hurt others because you're lost, you're hurting. An angry person is a murderer. And in the worst way, too, because an angry person murders themselves. An angry person within themselves is bitter, revengeful, angry, jealous, nasty, pretend to be nice when they're really evil. And they murder themselves. An angry person is a violent person in their mind and emotions. And they're violent. They murder themselves, and then they try to murder others with their anger. Anger is not good, folks. Do what you want. I've told you over and over 1,000 times or more that anger is evil. And you're a murderer. You murder yourself. Look how violent you are within. Look what you're doing to yourself, how unhappy you are within. You have to compare yourself to others. You're afraid to be a whole individual. You're afraid to be alone. And you cry at night. And then you go out and protest for animal rights. You protest the prisons when you know these people should be punished because they have no self-control. And they put everybody's lives at risk. But you feel good out there protesting. You feel like you're a nice person. When only thing you're doing is getting ego gratification, and it does not do anything good for the people or person that you pretend to be helping. An angry person is a murderer. They're very violent within, and so they murder themselves, and they blame others.
Anthony on Cash App, 5th grade girls arrested for murder plot. Oh, I think we have that in the packet, actually. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. Here's that story from The Independent. This is so interesting. I didn't know when my producer told me about this morning. I'm like, this is hell on earth. Hell is a mess on earth through human beings. Hell is on earth through human beings. Human nature is that of evil. Watch this. Who told you? That was Eric?
That was Anthony on Cash App telling about the 5th grade.
Speaking of that, Anthony, we had that story from The Independent. 4 students at Legacy traditional school in Surprise, Arizona. I never heard of Surprise, Arizona.
I might have heard of it once.
I'm surprised I never heard of Surprise, Arizona. Surprise! We were accused of planning to lure a fellow fifth grader in the bathroom, stab him, and forge a suicide note to make the killer appear self-inflicted. Watch this from Arizona family. This is an amazing story.
Just end him. That was the goal of a group of 10 and 11-year-old girls who surprise police say wanted to kill a boy at school. The motive? He's accused of cheating on one of them, so she wants him dead. The murder plot was simple. According to the police report, 4 fifth-grade students at Legacy Traditional School's West Surprise campus planned to lure a classmate to the charter school's outside bathroom and stab him in the stomach. And each girl had a role to play to get away with it. One would bring the knife, another would forge a suicide note to make it seem like he took his own life, and someone would act as a lookout while the other carried out the stabbing. And to avoid fingerprints on the murder weapon, they would wear gloves. Documents say the friends came up with the plan during lunch and recess on October 1st. Legacy administrators worked with the school resource officer to investigate when students who overheard the plot came forward. The next day, their backpacks were searched and the suspects were individually questioned with their parents present. All 4 children were then arrested for threatening and disorderly conduct misdemeanor charges. The police report says 3 of the students showed remorse, but the 4th would smile and laugh while making excuses for their actions.
Wow. What kind of mind is that in the 5th grade?
People try to act like children are so innocent, 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds. I remember being 9, 10, 11. My classmates and I, we weren't that innocent. I mean, I didn't think to do what these gals wanted to do, but
I'm about to say.
And we'd laugh about it.
I'm trying to think of 5th grade when I was in the 5th grade. Miss Bullitt was my teacher.
I had Mrs. Otter.
And
doxed.
I remember Miss Bullitt whooped me. I will never forgive or forget her. Now I'm playing. I'm just joking. But Miss Bullitt whooped me because I was afraid of needles. Beta. And they wanted to give us those shots, and I would cry, fight back. No, I wouldn't take it. And she sent me down to the principal's office, and the principal was like, "You're going to take those shots." And he whooped me. And then he sent me back to the classroom, and she whooped me. And then I took the shot. I was like, what a beta. I made a fool out of myself. But 5th grade, I was not thinking about killing anyone. I mean, how do you have that mindset in the 5th grade? But I understand evil now.
Because he cheated on her. They're dating and having like adultery, supposedly, as 10-year-olds.
And they're gonna sit in the class, according to the report, and plot to kill him. Write a note, wear gloves. They've been watching too many mystery movies.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? 5th graders. The devil's busy through human beings. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. It's funny because the one girl, you could tell that she's a leader based on the way that she was smiling,
right,
as they described, and making excuses.
And that's amazing that she convinced those other girls to go along with that.
Weak.
Everybody had a role to play in it.
Yep. People follow the leader.
I want to go to first-time caller out of Kentucky, Charles. Charles, you are on the air.
Thank you, sir. How you doing?
All is well.
Well, it's a blessing. I'm sitting here trying to recoup from a hip operation.
Oh, man, I wish you well.
Thank you very much. No, I just sitting here and I said, well, I'm going to call this number and see if I can get through.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, I sure am. But, no, I've watched you for quite a few years now, and I really, you have a real interesting show. And for the biggest part, I agree with what you say from here and there. But, now I come from an Appalachian coal field. And, the poorness and I'm a Caucasian, but the poorness don't stop only at blacks. It stops, it stops at an area that you were brought up in.
So Appalachian, whatever you said, is where the poor white people live?
Yeah, it's like a coal fields.
Oh, okay. What was it like growing up poor and white?
Well, they wasn't white. It wasn't white and black or none of that stuff. We was just all poor.
Oh, so you had black people living there too?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so what was it like for you? You said you were white. What was it like for you growing up? Were you poor growing up?
Well, I assume that we was. We had plenty. I mean, but we was poor, not what you'd say, like most people are rich and had everything to do.
But you didn't grow up thinking that you were poor.
Oh, we didn't know we were poor.
I know what you mean. I was the same way. I didn't know I was poor. I never thought about being poor growing up at all.
No, that's the way we were. See, now all of us, most of us was non-educated.
Right.
And it was a lot to do with your own self-esteem, whether you went and learned at school or whatever. But you see, where it come right back to was when your mom and dad was non-educated and you had nobody to teach at home, the way most people really successful, if they got mom and dads to teach them at home, then you'll have a more successful life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now when you go home and you don't have no idea how to do the school lessons and these things, it's hard to comprehend how to do all that, and you fall behind, you see.
But it's really not about education either, though if you're being educated in the right way, there's nothing wrong with education. But it's about your parents and how they raise you and their example for you. And in those days, we had that more than they do now. Parents are no good now. They have no love. They don't care about the children or anything.
You hit it right on the head. Now, I had 7th grade education, okay? But, yeah, I went to be a successful co-operator. I had owned all kinds of different coal mines.
Yes.
And I was a certified electrician in 3 different states with 7th grade education.
Yes.
I was a certified mining foreman in 3 different states. Certified METs in 3 different states, But
that's how it was, man. When the people who graduated from my class and the class after me, nearly all of them did very well in life, have done and are doing very well in life, and they were not that educated. Some of them finished high school, but they still were not all with these stupid degrees that people have now.
True. I mean, and I really loved it. I tell you, but I give God the credit for it, Jesse. I mean,
absolutely.
He gave us the willpower and the smarts. I call it God. I call it God sense, not common sense. I call it God sense.
Amazing.
Because I know Trump, he calls it common sense, but I like to call it God sense.
Well, common sense is God sense.
Okay,
because
we'll go.
That's what God's nature is. His ways are common and simple, and they make sense.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what it is. What do you think about how Donald Trump is doing now? Did you vote for him?
I voted for him, and I've actually, campaigned for him every time he ran.
Right on. And how do you feel about what he's doing now?
I'm waiting to see. But everything, I got to agree with most of the stuff he's doing right now.
Me too.
I more agree with what he's doing than what he's not doing.
What manner of man is this? It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, because you can sit at the house and do nothing, and nothing will happen.
Nothing from nothing, leave nothing.
You're exactly right.
You got to have something if you want to be.
You're one cool guy. Well, I tell you, I love you to death. I love to listen to you and watch you. I sure do.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we're a whole lot alike, whether you know it or not. But now we come from the same place.
You can take the boy out of the country.
Yeah.
But you can't take the country out of the boy.
That's true.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Charles. I appreciate your call.
Hey, I thank you for taking it, and God bless you, honey. We'll be praying for you all.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Happy White History Month.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Amazing. Let me go to Slim out of Maryland. Slim, you're on the air.
What's going on, Jesse?
All is well. Happy White History Month.
Happy White History Month, man.
Thank you.
I wanted to answer the biblical question.
Are you a tumbleweed?
All right, and these questions definitely are amazing. This is the first question that I knew the answer to.
Okay.
For me, at least, I can't speak for nobody else.
Right.
But for me, no, I am not a tumbleweed. I never have been, and I don't think I ever will be, especially now starting on this journey.
And then why do you say you're not one, a tumbleweed?
Oh, so a tumbleweed. First of all, a tumbleweed is dead. It once wasn't a live plant like most of the human beings on the earth. They were young, innocent children. And then somewhere along the line, the tumbleweed dies. And then it's easily manipulated, which is a lot of the people in this world are, so easily manipulated by the things that are around them. Also, as the tumbleweed is being manipulated and moving around, it's spreading seeds, which is what a lot of these people do with their evil in the world. They just, they spreading their seeds of evil all over everywhere that the devil is tumbling them along. So, no, not in no way, shape, or form. And I told you, we had a conversation before, and I told you, I've been on this journey for a minute with, Black Israelites and searching and trying to find the right way. So,
oh yeah, I remember you telling me that. I remember that.
Yeah, it kind of touched a place in my heart because a few weeks ago, I heard you say that most of the people who've been on this journey have been on this journey their whole life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's me.
Amazing.
That's me. So also, go ahead.
I appreciate you responding to the biblical question. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Hold on for a minute. It sounds like you want to make another point. Hold on, all right?
Okay, no problem.
Back in a moment, folks. I want to go quickly back to Slim. Slim, go ahead. Thank you for holding.
What's up, Jesse? So, I kind of, all right, so it's not a situation because I'm not having a situation, but it's definitely something that I need to talk to you about because the devil and the feelings keep telling me I don't need to talk to you about it.
Okay.
So, it's me and I'm with a girl, and we've been together for about 7 years. Now, she hates me, but she swears that she loves me. And what I mean is she's tried to break up with me, like 6 or 7 times. And I'm talking about packing up. We had one child together. She has 2 kids, and then I have a kid by myself. So, I mean, she'll go through the ringer and pack us the stuff up and put the kids through all this stuff. And this is before I found you. Now, I wasn't really a beta, but this is the only woman that has ever, I'm telling you, bro, I've never really cared about a woman's feelings or anything like that. But the 2 women that I've ever cared about or been concerned about how they feel, I have children with. So this young lady who I'm with now, and it's funny because you was just talking to somebody earlier, and her dad is white and her mom is from the Philippines, and I'm Black and my girl is from the Philippines. So we already go through cultural differences and things like that. But as far as just getting along, we don't really get along. And I don't, I'm fine. I tell her if she want to leave, she can leave. She's not a hostage. Because she'll tell me all the time, you don't love my kids. And these are kids that I've taken in and I'm taking care of. And, I'm paying full expenses on a house that we purchased and things like that. I've helped her start her business. She runs her own business now and things like that. So it's just we're at a point where, and then when a situation happens, or if I do something that she doesn't like she hates that I have control over our child, our daughter. So if I say something about our daughter, she'll be like, well, why do I have to listen to you? And it's not fair. I feel like I don't have a voice, or I feel like I don't have a say-so in here. And I'm telling her, all right, if you want to say so, you can go somewhere where you feel like you have a say-so. But on the flip side, you say that you want to be here. You say that you want to be in this relationship. So I don't understand where the conflict comes from. So, you know, you know what I'm saying? So, like, just the other day, our daughter is 4 now. So she had a situation where she was acting up. It was bedtime. So she called herself wanting to start crying. So I said, no, come on, time to go sit on the step. So I pull her and sit on the step. So her mother comes out and was like, yeah, you know what? All right, fine. We just going to leave this. So I'm like, all right, if you want to leave, you can leave. Now, mind you, she knows who you are. At first, she hated you. Oh my goodness, you just listening to Jesse. That's why you acting that. You just listening to Jesse. So, I guess after a while, I didn't break. You know, I'm strong in this. I'm strong in learning. I'm not going back. So after a while, she was like, I'm gonna break up with you. I was like, all right, go ahead and leave. So after 2 days, she was like, well, I don't see myself being without you, and I don't know what I would do without you. Let's just work it out. So this is like the 8th time. So I'm like, no, I'm not working it out. You know, we go ahead and end the relationship. You had to it seems like you unhappy. Every few months you have a problem. You go through the situation and you want to leave, and I'm helping you. But then you come back and you like, oh, it's like the schizophrenic and the feelings on one. But then on the other hand, she like, I hate you. And she said it before. She didn't. Oh, but when you talk about the devil, she done said, I hate you. I want to kill you. I'm gonna hurt myself. You done made me miserable. You gonna make me do something. Bro, she done pulled a knife out. I'm laying in the bed. She pulled a knife out and stabbed the pillow. Not me. She stabbed the pillow next to me.
Wow.
Like little stupid stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, how could you be in this situation and you claim you love me so much, but you willing to go? And I don't provoke her. She had an argument with herself for 4 hours.
So were you in bed when she stabbed the pillow?
Yeah, I was laying down.
Man, that's dangerous.
Bro, I'm telling you. And I tell her she need to let go of her anger, but you know,
Is she older
at
than you?
first she was. Yeah. So listen, right. So when we first met, I liked her because you know, she was. Well, I thought she was young because she looks real young, but she's older than me.
How much
I'm
older?
37. She 41.
Whoa.
Yeah. So.
And
So I'm
she
like,
had 3 children already?
Yeah, so she had 2 kids
2 children, okay.
in the Philippines. Yeah, she had 2 kids prior to us meeting from the Philippines. So we met, she already had 2 kids. I already had 1 kid, and then now we have a child together.
Amazing. And so she's older than you. She been married before?
No, neither one of us had been married before.
So let me ask, your question for me is what?
See, and that's the thing, though. So I really don't have a question for you because I know that I'm not having a problem. I know what situation I'm in. I know the woman who I'm with. I know the things that she's going through. So I really don't have a question. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have nobody to talk to. I can't talk to nobody. I don't trust nobody. I tried to talk to I used to talk to my mother about it, and then I found out that was a big old mistake. Because she would take the things and try to use them as fuel to get her way. So I'm like, I can't talk to her no more. So I had to cut that off. So I'm like, I don't talk to nobody. So I really don't have a question. It's just amazing to me that I can see all of this. That I can see the conflict in her. Like, all right, I'm here in this situation. I'm with this guy. I really don't have a problem with him. I got a problem with myself because I can't let him do what he's doing. I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
she's trying to control
I'm not
you.
and it's not working. So now she pissed because it's not working.
Well,
and I'm like, all right, well.
Let me ask because of time. Why would you stay with a woman that stabbed a knife into the pillow while you're in bed and knowing that she's been controlled, based on what you've said, I've not heard her side of the story, but knowing that she's controlled by anger, anger is evil, why would you take that risk? If she stabbed that knife in the pillow already with you in bed, what made you think it won't happen again and happen to you this time? Why would you take that risk?
I don't think that, but at the same time, she ain't never done nothing to me.
She stabbed the knife in the pillow, man.
That's the theatrics.
But
she like,
no,
I'm
no, that's not. That's getting closer to you. The devil can make her stab you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Don't be deceived, man. She's like, I'm telling you, I counsel with men and women who things like that have happened to. They didn't think it would happen, and the person ended up hurting them with some form of a weapon. This is not a game. If this woman is that angry to a point that she's carrying on like that, and she, according to you, stabbed a knife in the pillow while you're in bed, I wouldn't be taking that risk with evil like that, man. And she's older than you.
Yeah. And she keeps saying, bro, probably like 4 months ago, I didn't try to get it. I just, like, she'll see me watching it. She'd be like, what you watch? So she started to watch you a little bit. And she say she work on herself, but she ain't forgave her mother. You know what I'm saying? She still still angry. I done did all that. I done went and did all that, forgave my mother. My mother done called the army reinforcements on me. I forgave my mother, right? I went to forgive my mother. We had a dinner. Sat down, had a nice dinner. I, told her the situation, boom, boom, boom. So she was like, we both had some problems, but you weren't perfect. You called me a bitch. And this is years ago. Well, I was like 16. So I'm like, bro, you see, you holding on to stuff that I'm coming here to apologize to you, and you bringing up stuff from back in the day. So 3 weeks go by. She calls my brothers, my stepfather, and was like, oh, I'm going to have a dinner. I want everybody to come over for dinner. So we come over for dinner. She like, well, the reason I had this dinner was because I feel like some of my children have a problem with the way they were talking about me only. And my brother's sitting there, they don't know what the hell going on. They don't know they being used at this point. So everything that you said has happened to me verbatim. It's crazy, bro. Yep. So I had to push off with her. I went to forgave my dad. Right I went and hollered at him. We sat down, had a few beers, and I told him, I'm like, bro, my whole life, I've been my mother. I've been in the image of my mother. I know you gone, you went on with your life and all that, but I don't hold nothing against you, bro. I love you. Do you know what he said to me?
What?
He was like, this is exactly what he said. He was like, I was wondering if you was going to be okay.
See that? Amazing.
That's all he said.
Fathers love
and
their children.
We've been good ever since, bro. Ever since. So it's just, I don't have no question for you. I just need to talk to you for a little bit.
Right
I kind of want to play this back so she can listen to it, but I don't want her to listen to it and then be like, just try. You know what I mean? Like, no, this is for my healing purposes. I needed to call you. I needed to have a conversation with you because I've had a million conversations with you in my mind, bro, about this.
Amazing.
No lie.
What?
So I needed to have the real one.
You didn't ask for advice, but I would give you one free of charge.
Okay.
If this woman does not, if what you're saying is true, and she is not truly working on herself, and she has stabbed a knife into the pillow while you were sleeping or in bed next to you, I would not take that risk anymore, man. She would have to go. Because
that was before she was working on that stuff. She says she work on herself now, and I do see small improvements. You know what I'm saying? Now,
let me just say this. I want you to know, because evil don't play. And because you're working on yourself now, there's some light in you and the darkness in her see that little light in you. It's going crazy, and it's telling her all kinds of things to do, and act out.
It is.
And it was evil. If this happened, it was evil that told her stab the pillow. Don't stab him yet, but stab the pillow. I wouldn't put my life at risk like this, man.
Yeah, and then you know what's crazy? She'll sit afterwards and then cry and be like, that I don't mean all that. And I'm like, bro, that's the real you. The fake you is the smiling and the laughing, and the real you is the you that's like, I hate you. Right. That really, you know what I'm saying?
And when they say they're sorry, they don't really mean that they're sorry. People that say they're sorry don't mean it. They're just another way of deceiving you.
I know, because the sorry is really like F you. Because if you wouldn't have to say sorry if you wasn't doing it.
That's right. Absolutely.
So,
but I just think to hear this knife story is taking it too far, man. It's just because I have seen over the last 35 years what evil has caused people to do to others and themselves and to others. This knife thing is not a game. It's not funny.
Right.
It's not a game. And you could be laying in your bed asleep and
not even know it's coming.
Right. And so I wouldn't take any more chances after that, man. I wouldn't, but it's up to you. But hey, that much love in the world.
Yeah, you ain't lying. So we might have to call you. We might have to do some face-to-face counseling or something. I might link up with you, man. But I definitely appreciate you. I'm going to let you go ahead and get to some calls, man. And definitely good talking to you. I'm going to talk to you again.
All right. I'm glad you're able to get it off your chest a little bit.
Thank you, baby. I'm glad you got the show where we can make it happen, and hopefully this situation or this scenario to help somebody else, or you know what I'm saying?
A lot of people are going through the same thing, man. I counsel with people who their wife or woman or man or wife, they pull guns on each other because of especially if they're waking up and the other one is not.
Yeah.
All right, man. I wish you well.
All right, baby. Thank you, man. Stay safe and stay healthy, baby.
I will, buddy. Thank you. Bye now. What a mess. Evil is real, folks. And it doesn't play. Its whole mission is to rob, steal, and kill. And anyone that has anger is a murderer. They'll murder themselves inside with revenge. And they will murder you on the outside. I want to take that risk, but do what you want.
Who else going to protect us?
Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Hanulato! Amaga Egawa, Jacob Frey, Yarub! Doka Magalada of Minneapolis!
Who's he protecting?
What a mess. That was in the United States of America. There is an order to life, a spiritual order. Most people never grow spiritually. You never grow up to be a spiritual adult. Have you noticed that? Some people don't even grow up to be a physical adult. And to suggest that they grow up spiritually, ain't no way. But my country is gone. There's an order to life. God in Christ. Christ is man, man over woman, woman over children. Now, ladies, if you don't have a man, Christ in you. So don't let not having a man in your life stop you from working on you. Even if you had a man in your life, that man cannot save you from your misery. He cannot save you from your misery. Only you can do that by working on you. But my country is gone. This is 250 years, I think they say, celebrate America. Is that right, Nick? 250? 250 years celebrate this year?
Hold up.
Something like that. You don't know either. But something, yes, 250 years celebration. And instead of getting better, my country has gotten worse. And we told you of a story over in New York. The Democrats have elected to run and represent them a straight out a la Abomination, socialist, communist to the core. And he says it out loud. He's not hiding it. He is creating New York into a la Abba country. What do you think going to happen? How do you think that's going to turn out? What do you think going to happen? What do you think that's going to happen from that? This guy is not even hiding it. This guy want to defund police and everything. He's trying to stop ICE from picking up the illegal alien. And he says out loud, he wants the government to control the supermarkets. He says it out loud in the United States of America. Did you ever imagine? Well, if you think that's bad, 1776 to 2025 is roughly 250 years of America. God bless America. You think that's bad what this guy is doing in New York? And I don't blame him. The people voted for him. They get the government they deserve. A true socialist. Think about it. And he's saying it out loud. And with a big smile. Because in his mind, he knows he got America, at least New York, in the palm of his hands. And the white women, according to the report, white so-called educated women voted for him. Isn't that amazing? I thought you're supposed to get smarter with education. But these people seem to be dumber as a result of education. Watch this. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey took to the stage on Sunday to celebrate Somalia Independence Day. Not American Independence Day, but Somalia. Shouting to the crowd in Somalia as he embraced, whatever that's supposed to mean, embrace, the local East African community. Watch this you're going to shake in your boots. And this is happening in America, not Somalia, not over there. It's happening over here. Watch this from X.
Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Igea! Somebody Gaya! Amaga Egowa, Jacob Frey, Yarub! Doka Magalada, Minneapolis! Mufiate! Sate!
What do you say about that, folks? And those people dressed in African clothes, it looked like Africa. This is happening in the United States of America. This person is in our government. He's the mayor of the city, according to this report of Minneapolis. How and why did this happen and is happening in America? A country that was founded and created by white Christian men with the help of God. This guy is shouting and speaking in Somali language in the United States of America. Where is the one nation under God in that? And how can he be that bold and do that? How? Because there are so many people over there that they're going to vote him in again? You got one guy, Allah Uaba guy, in New York, outright socialist, and promoting it, and not ashamed, not afraid. Meaning, he knows that the people are going to vote for him. They've already done it. And now you have this guy over there doing that. You think the blacks are bad? And not all, but they are. Look at that Jasmine Cricket. You can't get any evil than that. But yes, you can. It's the same spirit, though. My country is gone. It's gone. Here's a little information that I'm getting right now about this guy from Minneapolis, Jacob Frey. So according to Wikipedia, the mayor, Jacob Frey, is Jewish. He's a Jew. His parents were professional modern ballet dancers. His mother is a Russian Jewish ancestry. And his father converted to Judaism. My America is gone. It's not coming back. But don't worry. If you overcome fear, and you can have perfect peace in the midst of this hell on earth. And the Father, God, will protect you. And that's just not a Christian saying. All right? And one other quick one for you. You think that's bad. This is, like when I think about it, when I first started out, I started out in radio some 35 years ago now. And we were reporting on these type of things, but they were happening in other countries. They were not happening in America. And at the time, I never imagined that it was possible in America that something like this can happen. Now it's all over America. Here's a recent footage of Shia Muslims in Texas gathered for a mourning event. Watch this from X. Amazing, huh? It made me nervous because it sounded like a suicide bomb is about to go off or something. What a mess. That's in Texas, a conservative state. A conservative state, I'm told. Downtown Texas, they're telling me. But don't be afraid. Drop your anger. Live from within, and you won't be touched by all this, all right? 888-7753-773. It is a spiritual battle. And men, at some point, you as an individual should wake up. You are the light of the world. And the light is going out. You are the salt of the earth. No flavor in the salt. There's nothing. It's an abomination against God for a man to live in his home and be married with children and have a dominating wife or girlfriend or live-in, and the man is passive. And American men are passive now. And I understand that the world been going after you, and you're right about that, they're totally against men. That's why when they complain about men playing in women's sport, it doesn't bother me at all because they're not complaining about women playing in men's sport, and they're not complaining about women taking jobs. They're giving all these jobs and everything to women and putting men out of work. They don't care about the men. Oh, but they care about the woman. A spiritual battle. They hate you men because you represent God. You may be a beta man, beta God, beta son of God because you left home from the Father, but you need to return. The world needs you. And ladies, they're not. Work on yourself and don't rely on the man to return. You return to the Father too by forgiving your mother, dropping the anger. You don't have to be you any longer either, ladies. Thank God for Donald Trump. What manner of man is this? The world obeys him. They call him king. They even had king's rallies celebrating the king. Some mad at the king, but they love the king because the thrill of being mad at the king is false love. What manner of man is this? The wind and the sea obeys him. Amazing, huh? We need more men like Donald Trump. Don't want to be Donald Trump, but that spirit that drives him, it's in you too, but you got to return to it. I was reflecting, and some of you know that I counsel every day with men and women around the world, couples and families, and by phone, Skype, or walk-in. And if you like a counseling session, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-BOND. And what I've come to realize, and I kind of knew already, but it's been made clear, that every human being judge another. And in all kinds of situations, they judge. And what I come to realize is that the reason human beings, because human nature is evil, human beings are evil, the reason they judge is because they have not gotten to know themselves and they have not realized that they too are evil and that they throw the first stone because they have not realized that they are sinners, that their hearts are wicked, their hearts are evil. Every human being, it doesn't matter, so-called worldly status, what you have or don't have, where you live or don't live, man or woman, whatever color, around the world, you judge others because you have not overcome what the Bible calls your sins. You have not overcome the wickedness of your heart. Every human being's heart is evil. And according to Romans 3:23 through 24, for all have sinned, meaning that every human being's heart is evil. And as a result of heart being evil, you have the nature of evil. Everything about you is no good. But rather than looking at that, looking at yourself and overcoming, you throw stones at others, at your husband or at your wife, at your parents, at your siblings, your friends, your colors, your male or female. You throw stones. And the only reason you throw them because you have not seen what's happening inside of you. You have not accepted that you're a sinner. And most people think what's sinning are the vices that you have. That's not the sin. The sin is the heart. Meaning that in your heart, your mind, not your blood pumping heart, in your spirit, that you are evil. Anyone that has anger is evil. And you're quick to throw stones because you have not overcome your own evil. And not one human being escaped this. Not one. And there are some who are starting to wake up, and I just down through mankind, the history of man. There have always been one or two men or women waking up, right? Because the truth has come along for every generation, but only a few accept that truth. Somebody has come along in history and always tried to point you back to the Father. But only a few would accept that they're evil so that they can overcome and enter into the kingdom and return back to the Father. And they are quick to judge because they're evil. And that's why if you are having to be one of those men or women who are working on yourself, I suggest do what you want, but I suggest you're not hanging around with evil people for too long. Because the darkness in them will hate the light in you, and they will try to destroy you. They will make you doubt yourself. They will build an army against you, and they will try to destroy you. They have no love. And according to Romans, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus. Amazing, huh? So, and what sinners don't know, what evil people don't know, except for those who started to examine themselves, to know thyself, that you don't have to be you any longer because of Christ. You don't have to be that way. You don't have to live the rest of your life with an angry heart. Get rid of the heart, evil of the heart, the vices will eventually fall away because you will stop identifying with them. And they will be taken away from you, and you will have a new mind, you will be free. But count on your hands the number of people who can confess, meaning admit even to themselves that they are evil. You tell somebody they're evil, they're like, oh, you're so rude. You shouldn't tell me that. Don't tell me I'm evil. But if you tell them they're good, they love that. They will smile. But you tell them the truth, they're evil, How you going to tell me I'm evil? You can't call me evil. But how will you be free if you can't accept or recognize that you're evil? And all who are born of the flesh, of the woman, are evil. Look at how human beings treat each other. Where is the love? Show me a place where there is love in a person, in a family, in a friendship, in a worship, in a ship. Show me where there's love. It's amazing. There is a way out. You can be free, but you got to be willing to sacrifice all that you hold on to, all your little possessions. You got to be willing to sacrifice them. I can hear you right now. When I say possession, the first thing you think about your car, your house, your money, your friends, your whatever, right? You think, I got to sacrifice that. That's not what I mean. I mean those things that you possess, meaning your fears, your loneliness, your judgment, your doubt, your beliefs, your insecurities, your judgment, your anger, your looking for love from other people or trying to give love to other people, the things that are important to you, your possession. Those things I just named off and some more, those are your possessions. And you're unwilling to sacrifice them. You love going off on people. You love yelling at people. You love judging people in your mind and outwardly as well. And you love joining groups that that judges others, and then the groups turn around and judge each other. You're unwilling to sacrifice your possessions because you think your possessions are just physical. Yes, you love your cars, you love this, you love that. And you'll sometimes give that up, but you're not going to give up your possessions, your ego body, fake body, your mind. You're not going to give that up. Oh, you say you would, but you don't. And then some people try to give it up. But then you start to, but you stop along the way. And you make up excuses. And it's not you, but the spirit of evil in you. The spirit of truth said, you know what? Come as you are. Dark, lost, lonely. Christ is the light. Bring all your darkness to Christ, the light, and he will take care of it. He will destroy them, but you won't let him. What a sad world, huh? And a sad way to live. When you can be free, but you won't admit, not even to yourself, I'm lonely, I'm scared, I'm worried. And you won't admit it and then just see it. You try to solve it. You can be free, or you can live in your misery. Or you can just read the Bible and quote the scriptures, lift up holy hands and claim that you're a child of God, that you've been born again of Jesus, and then you cry at night. Either in your mind, or in tears, or in both. And a crying person, whether male or female, a crying person is a very dangerous, evil, conniving person. A crying person is a dangerous person. They're evil. I would suggest you need to be aware of what's going on inside of you so you can see clearly what's going on inside of others. But you won't, once you see clearly what's happening through you, you will see what's going on in others, but you won't judge them because you will understand that they're asleep and they can't help it. And you will be free and protected from this mean or nasty world that's inside of other human beings. Isn't that amazing? So it's up to you. You can read your little Bible, hold up holy hands, and pretend Jesus is God. You can read your little Bible, and the Bible, nothing wrong with reading the Bible, and lift up holy hands and believe that Jesus is God, and see where they get you. You still cry at night. What good does it do you to believe that Jesus is God and you still have fear and you hold on to a false belief? You believe that the Son is the Father and you believe you have a free will. Will yourself to never judge yourself or others right now. Just with your little free will yourself to do that. And see what happens. You won't even will with your free will, as you say you have. You won't even will yourself to stop being afraid or to stop being angry. If you have a free will, why don't you will your own self to be free? Or do you love your thrills? Do you love your misery? What a mess, huh? And this world, including my country, is going to only get worse and not going to get better. But you, man, you, woman, can be the author, the ruler, the controller of your own world if you want to. You are your world, and eventually you are the universe. But you won't go to that. You won't trust being alone. You need a crowd. You need love. You need somebody to love you and you to love somebody, and you're never going to find it. There's only one love, and it's within. It's not without. It's in you. It's not outside of you. But you're not going to find that until you can admit you're evil. Every human being, anyone that, the way to know, in case you doubt it, and you're like, let me find out if Jess is right about this. If you want to know if you're evil or not, admit that you're angry. If you could at least see your anger, you're going to see that anger is evil. There's nothing good in anger. You were not created by God to be angry. Anger is not of God. Anger is of your father, the devil. You and the devil are one. When you have anger. And he's holding on to you so tight, and you're holding on to him so tight, he won't let you go and you won't let him go. You're God, the devil. Isn't that amazing? All in the name. But you can be free. But you must be willing to suffer the death of the ego, the not you. You don't have to be you any longer. But you must be willing to suffer the death of the false you. And some people are like, well, who will I be if I'm not emotional? Who will I be if I don't have fear? Who will I be if I don't identify with what kind of work I do and where I live and who I'm married to and this or that? You will be free if you were not any of those things. So I suggest do what you want. Get to know yourself. In order to have a life, you must give up a life. You must give up the false life, the false self. You're not your body. You're not your emotions. You're not your thoughts. You're not your job. You're not your name. You're not your money. You're not your house. You're not your past. You're not your past experiences. You're not this. And I name these things because that's what everybody tell me. I'm my past experiences. I'm like, really? You're not your alcoholic. You're not a drug addict. You're not a drag queen. You're not a transgender. You're not a transgender. You're not a homosexual. You're not a lesbian. You're not any of those things. Those things made a home in your mind when you became angry, and they told you that's who you were, and then the evil people outside of you confirmed it because they are evil. Evil confirms evil. You're none of those things. And God cannot, even though he do what he wants, will not, is not judging you. Period. In his eyes, you are free. In your eyes, you are enslaved. But in his eyes, you are free. You're not a sinner. You're not a saint. You're not saved. You're not guilty. or anything. And you have never in your entire life, I don't care how old you are, how young you are, you have never done anything wrong in your entire life. So you're not guilty. You've been lied to, you believe a lie, and you call yourself guilty. I did that. I am this and I am that. When I disappear, the real you will appear. But I gotta disappear in order for the real you to appear. Christ made it possible, sent to this earth by his Father, God. And Christ set you free with the help of the Father. Father set you free through the Son. 888-7753-773. It's up to you. I have 2 words for you. Just 2 words. Free Diddy. Free Diddy. What a mess. So, some of you know about Diddy's situation. According to WTHR, Sean Diddy Combs was acquitted on Wednesday on racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, but found guilty for lesser charges. Watch this from KTLA 5.
Sean Diddy Combs will remain behind bars after a judge denied him bail.
Yeah, the music mogul was acquitted of the most serious charges, which are sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, but guilty of the lesser prostitution-related charges.
Hello to both of you. The defense offered stipulations like drug testing and limited travel so Sean Combs could go home to his Miami mansion. But the judge said the music mogul's daily square footage will remain that of a Metropolitan Detention Center jail cell. Outside of the courthouse in Manhattan, a frenzy of fans and media. The judge citing Combs' pattern of violence for keeping him in custody. The judge said Diddy's defense even conceded he was a domestic abuser. But Combs' attorney spoke to the media after the bail hearing, calling the verdict a victory.
Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough.
Amazing. It's unusual that when men are accused by women, because we've been told the woman, take the woman at her word. Because she said it, and it's true. Don't doubt her. And this country have believed the women. And when they cry, they're lying. But the country believe them. And it's rare that a man, and you've been told, believe women. Believe women. And you're foolish enough to fall for that. Some people. And so it's rare that a man goes to court and prove himself to be not to be what he's been accused of being. Isn't that amazing? But we'll see the outcome. We don't know the outcome yet. But it's interesting. I was surprised to see this. It's rare that happens. Because the courts are not on the side of men. And it doesn't matter if they're guilty or not. The charges come. Here are the charges that Combs was convicted of from KTLA 5.
Combs has been in custody since September of last year, nearly 300 days. The music mogul was acquitted of the most serious charges against him, 3 racketeering and sex trafficking charges, which carried a possible sentence of life in prison. Combs is guilty of transporting ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura and another witness going by the name Jane Doe across state lines for illegal sexual activity, charges that carry a maximum combined 20 years in prison.
Amazing. So Combs got on his knees and thanked God in the courthouse. Did you see that? Yeah. And that yellow shit down on his knee and that chair praying. How come if you pay a woman trip from somewhere to your place to be with you, and they call it prostitution, but why is that illegal? You don't make her come. You invite her, or she invite herself, and you pay her to come to your place. Why is that illegal? I'm just wondering out loud. And who is at fault? The woman or the man or both? Why they didn't charge her for being a prostitute, if that's the case? I'm just wondering out loud. This is hell on earth. I'm being told they charge him under this man act which protect women. But in this case, they are admitting she did illegal things. And the anchor baby is telling me by denying the worst charges, they are admitting her involvement. I know. What's up? Here's what Cassie Ventura attorney shared after her reaction and urged the judge to keep Combs jailed. They need, watch this.
Ventura's lawyer shared her reaction to the verdict.
She was pleased that he's been found guilty and held responsible of 2 federal crimes, something that he's never been held responsible in his entire life.
Ventura and Combs' former stylist wrote a letter begging the judge to keep Combs in jail until sentencing, fearing retaliation for herself and others who went public with their stories. The judge appeared to hear those pleas. Combs' attorney said he would be a fool to violate terms of bail, but a judge quipped back, "So you want me to just let him walk out of here?" Sean Combs' team is expected to come back with a different bail package to get him out. Sentencing is scheduled for October 3rd, but both sides want an expedited sentencing, so that date is likely to move up.
The one thing I realized about, not all, but most women, they get a thrill out of destroying men. And they have no problem with doing it. Zero. It's a thrill. Inwardly, they have a thrill from that. When they're taking his children, when they are accusing him, when the courts go after him, even mothers have a thrill of destroying their adult sons when he say, "I'm sorry for resenting you," or he get married or whatever. I wonder why, but it's amazing. So I wish him well. Whatever will be, will be. Can Shara, Sarah. Whatever will be, will be. Remember that song, Hey?
Yes.
Well, how did it go?
Que sera, sera.
Right.
Whatever will be, will be. Something like that.
The answer is not ours to see. Something like that. Amazing. So there are people out there celebrating Free Diddy. And they were, according to a report, they were pouring oil all over their bodies.
I saw that in the chat, and I didn't believe it, but then I saw it on Drudge Report.
Yeah, I saw it.
Wait, that's real?
Yeah.
I saw it on the local news, on Channel 5 News.
I thought they were just joking around.
No, they said the people outside were pouring oil on their bodies.
Solidarity.
Free Diddy. What a mess. Let me go to Pennsylvania and talk to a first-time caller, Caleb. Caleb, you are on the air.
How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir. Happy White History Month.
Yeah. Congratulations on White History Month.
Right on.
I feel
you love
bad
white
bringing
people?
this. Yeah, I put it this way: I don't hate anyone.
Do you love white people?
Sure.
Go ahead.
It's been rambling around my head for a long time, and I come from a religious family, and I even feel bad bringing this up because it's going to help people put doubt in their minds about God. And I understand your forgiveness, forgive your mother and father. And I never understood that because they're as guilty as me. They didn't get a choice to be here. Adam and Eve committed the crime. We didn't. So why are we suffering? Because if God would have asked me, do you want to be plopped down on this earth with animals that'll kill you, insects, then you got to worry about your fellow man betraying you and everything else. And then you're a slave to the country that you live in. You can't own anything. I would have said, heck no.
I know what you mean. Hold on for me. Can you hold for a minute?
Sure.
Hold on. I know what he means. Really. Back in a moment. Caleb, first-time caller out of Pennsylvania. Caleb, thanks for holding.
Yeah, no problem.
I understand.
Maybe I'm overthinking everything, and, it's just one of them things, I don't know. Am I crazy?
I remember, I can relate to what you're saying because I remember when I first heard when I was young, and I heard that we were all sinners, right?
Yeah.
And then I used to say out loud and to myself, how am I a sinner? I don't ever remember volunteering to be a sinner.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I said, maybe I'm overthinking things.
I'm like, I never volunteered to be a sinner. How did I become a sinner? You know what I mean? And so I understand how you're thinking. I understand where you're coming from.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love God. I love Jesus. It totally makes sense. And just a little story quick. I had a guy come into my shop one time, and we were talking about God. And he goes, Cal, don't overthink things. He goes, Bible means basic instructions before leaving Earth. He goes, just, what's right, what's wrong, and how to treat people. And, I just kind of stuck with that, I guess, and try and worship as much as I can
and when
be a good
say
man.
You love God and Jesus, right? You say you love them?
Yes.
And how do you know you love them?
Well, they created me. I mean, I'm thankful. I mean, I'm not thankful for what I got to see and go through in life, but everyone else is too. So, I don't know. You tell me. I just feel like I love him like a parent almost, like he created me. Us, everyone.
And so how do you know you love him?
Well, I guess I really don't. Maybe I'm assuming I do.
Why are you changing your
mind? That's another question. See, there so many things can come into question that it just, it gets confusing.
So why do you say you love them both and you don't know for sure that you do?
Well, I was brought up to, so maybe it's just a natural thing that I'm saying it, but I do understand what Jesus went through. I mean, me personally, if I was standing there watching someone torture someone like that, I wouldn't have stood by. But what he went through to sacrifice for our sins, I mean, I have to be at least thankful, and I guess, well, I don't want to say love him for it, but yeah,
And when you
he gave us an opportunity. Sorry.
He gave you opportunity to do what?
To not go to hell. To do right.
Are you going to hell?
I probably will. My thing is, well, in the Bible, if you read the Bible, I mean, from what I get, if you don't follow it to a T, one wrong step, See, I smoke. That's one thing I can't handle. You're not supposed to. Your body's supposed to be a temple. You're supposed to take care of it. I didn't quit. I do curse. I try not to, but you know. And if I don't ask for forgiveness for all that in that day, and all of a sudden I have a heart attack, another one. I had one when I was 48, and thank God I'm alive.
How old are you now?
54.
Oh, okay.
And my father passed at 51, and his father passed at 46 of a heart attack. So I'm thankful. I'm here for some reason, you know, and I'm still trying to figure it out. So maybe he's giving me that chance. I don't know.
And when you say you understand what Jesus went through, you say something like that, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, he sacrificed himself.
What do you understand about what Jesus went through?
Well, I understand him being tortured was not a fun thing. And, you know, for him to do this for our sins, to be forgiven, I just, you know, maybe I'm looking at it all wrong or understand it wrong, but that's how I just look at it. I'm just thankful for him for that opportunity of what he went through, which was, I wouldn't want to see my worst enemy go through what he went through, you know.
And what do you understand what did he, in short, long story short, because of time, what did he go through? What do you understand about what he went through?
Well, his suffering, you know.
What kind of suffering?
Pain, suffering, that kind of the same stuff we're going through every day.
You going through what Jesus went through?
Well, not exactly, but I mean, I hate seeing people get hurt. I hate seeing people sick. I hate people dying. I hate knowing that if I go to heaven, what about my children? Are they going to be there? You know, that's the worst feeling because I brought them into this life. So now I worry every day that I don't want to be in heaven if my children aren't or my parents aren't.
And so why do you hate seeing other people suffer?
Because I know what pain feels like. I've been burnt, you know, toothaches, most of the pains that you can get out there, you know, breaking bones, stuff like that. It's not fun, you know, so it kind of, I know I listen to your shows and I know you're not supposed to worry about everyone else and this and that, but maybe I just have too big of a heart and I care too much.
Or maybe you don't care at all.
Oh, I wish that was the case because then I wouldn't worry about anyone.
It is the case. That's why you are worried, because you don't care.
Well, then I'm on the right track then, right? Because you tell people not to care about anyone else. Worry about yourself.
That's all you're doing. You're only thinking about yourself. You don't care about anyone else. And you call it worry. And then and in your mind, worry is a false pretense of caring and the light and the truth and all that. When worry is hate, there's no love and worry at all.
But then it goes back to then I go back to the same question. If he would have gave me a choice, I would have said, heck no. And I wouldn't have brought my kids into this world.
Why?
Because this is not a joyful place.
It could be if you wanted it to be.
There's absolutely no way.
And 100% away.
I mean, Jesse, honestly, please don't tell yourself that.
Don't tell myself what?
Because you went through it yourself.
But, and so you
don't know
believe
this is not.
You don't believe that it's possible to.
No.
No, what?
Absolutely not.
No, what?
This is not a joyful place, and it never will be.
Really? Even though Christ said that he came that you may have peace right here on earth?
Well, you know, and that goes back to the thing. Why am I committed to life in prison when I didn't bite the apple?
I laugh because I totally know what you mean. Really.
You know, and
but you did bite the apple.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
I didn't have a
did.
choice. If he would have gave me a choice, Jesse, I would not be here.
But
I was forcefully put here, and now I got to watch my loved ones die, suffer from cancer, heart attacks, accidents, and that's just my family members. And then, you know, is my father going to be there? Because he wasn't a big, you know, we went to church and everything, but my dad really didn't.
Right.
You know, so now I should be in heaven and then worry about my father, my second creator.
Worry about him not being in heaven?
Yes.
Is he still alive or he expired?
No, he passed. Like I said, he had a heart attack at 51.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. And so you worry that he's not in heaven?
Yeah. You know, it's all that little worries and stuff that makes life not joyful. That, you know, and I feel bad for bringing this up because other people are going to say, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, this is a bad place.
But so you don't believe you can have perfect peace right here on earth?
No, absolutely not.
But
you never will.
You can.
You cannot have peace with death.
With what?
Watching death. You cannot have peace in your heart watching death.
But there is no death.
I understand that point, but
what do you understand about that point?
Then it goes back to question one. I didn't bite the apple, Jesse.
But what do you understand about there is no death?
Well, in the Bible it says, you know, we go on and we'll be judged, and well, you know, you're either going to go to heaven or hell. And so that's what we have to look forward to over something we didn't have anything to do with. You didn't bite the apple.
I did. And you did too.
I would like to see the scripture that says that. But
May I tell you how you bit the apple?
How's that?
When you became...
I was born?
No. When you became angry at your mother, you bit the apple.
Oh yeah,
That's when you bit the apple, but you were young and you were subject to Eve because your father did not protect you from Eve. You bit the apple, and once you bit the apple, you left heaven and enter into hell. So you did bite the apple. Thank God.
All right, I won't argue the point. Like I said, I still don't think you can change my mind on why we're here. Because
well, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just telling you the truth.
I wasn't given a choice personally, so.
But you have a choice to overcome hell while you live, and I would suggest you do.
No, yes. I trust me, Jesse, that's why I feel bad even bringing this up because some people are going to take this out of content, and I was kind of scared of that, you know. But no, I.
Do you want heaven on earth, if it's possible?
I'm kind of already used to my fate. I mean, I got to do everything 3 times. You know, I can never get anything right the first time. I mean, but I'm learning, you know, so I take it as a, you know, I try and use everything as a learning experience, you know.
Because of time, do you want heaven on earth if it's possible?
Yeah, I'd like any type of heaven.
Do you want heaven on earth if it's possible?
Yes, Jesse.
You sure about that?
I just don't see it happening. I'm sorry.
Do you want it if it's possible?
Yes, I do.
Well, sure you want it?
I pray for it every day, and it still hasn't came. So I don't know what's going on. Either I'm not praying right, I'm not loving right, I'm always doing something wrong. And that's the whole point.
Who are you?
I have no clue.
So why do you say you
always... That's why I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to call and ask, you know, why are we being condemned for what someone else did? I mean, we don't, you know, if I commit a murder, they don't come and throw you in jail. But and that's exactly what... And you don't take your most precious...
What?
Here's a quick example. I didn't take my first daughter the most beautiful thing I've ever made, and drop her in the bad part of Chicago and tell her to survive. You know, that's pretty much what God did to us.
Amazing. Who you said you're being condemned? Who is condemning you?
Just life in general.
Who is condemning
the struggles, you? The struggles, I mean, there's just no, I mean, not to get political, but I mean, geez, Jesse, we can't even own anything in this country.
Who is condemning you?
Most likely myself, but I didn't put me here, so, you know, and I can't blame my mom and father because they're in the same spot that I am.
So
they didn't bite the apple. They're not responsible.
Because of time, you say you're being condemned. Who is condemning you?
Well, just life in general.
That doesn't make sense. How is life condemning you?
Because I don't want to be here.
Where you want to be?
Not here.
Where do you want to be?
I'd rather be nothing than here.
Well, why don't you be nothing?
I wish I could. I can't. See, and that's the other thing. You know, in the Bible, they throw that little kick in there too. Oh, don't kill yourself, or you're definitely going straight to hell. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So now I'm here to suffer. So I guess I just suffer. To me, Jesse, this is my hell. And I know there's other people out there that feel the same way.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not blaming it on God. I'm not blaming it on Jesus. They tried to do what they can, and I don't know.
Long story short, because of time.
Yeah, no problem.
So if it's possible to have perfect peace on earth, you want it?
Yes, I do.
Drop your anger and let your ego die.
I will definitely try, Jesse.
You must be born again. You, in all
honesty, thought I was.
In all honesty, the real you is not suffering. You're not being condemned. The real you have perfect peace, and you have never done anything wrong. You're not guilty. You're not a sinner nor a saint. The real you is free, but you just don't know who that is. You identify with the false you. Yeah,
you're right. But I mean, it's real quick. It's just one of them things that you kind of, once you're used to it, you just assume that it is what it is.
Well, why you keep assuming that you are your ego?
Yeah, that I need to work on.
Why you keep assuming that?
Jesse, if I had the answer, I wouldn't have called you.
Did you go and forgive your mother?
No, I'll never do that stuff. Nothing against you. I'm not into forgiving anyone but God himself. So
what do you need to forgive God for?
Because he put me here.
Listen.
He's the one responsible. Not he. The true maker of all this is the one responsible.
But he is.
We need to forgive him.
But he's taking responsibility by setting you free.
Oh, he didn't set me free.
Yes, he did. You are free. You just don't know it.
Jesse, I wish I could. I think I'm just a little bit smarter than that.
You're too smart to know that you're free?
I'm too smart to know what I'm living and what I read, and that probably most of it is a hoax.
Are you too smart to know that you're free?
Probably.
Are you?
Because if this what free is, I don't ever want it again.
If what is what free is?
If life is what free is, I don't want it.
But you're not living life yet.
Whatever you want to call this, I don't want it.
Then if you don't want it, drop it.
I can't. The Bible says you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't kill yourself or you'll go right to hell.
I'm not talking about killing yourself. I'm talking about...
Well, that's the only way I'm going to get rid of this life.
But I wouldn't take that risk. What makes you think that you're going to get rid of it if you die this way?
Yeah, I don't. Who knows? I could come back. I mean, we're all taking a gamble.
You're not coming back.
I hope not. I pray that I don't.
Your name is Caleb? Caleb?
Caleb.
Caleb.
Yes.
If you want to
Like
be
from the
free,
Bible.
man, you can. I understand what you're saying. I understand your confusion. But if you want to be free, you got to see that you're wrong for being angry. Anger is evil. You got to forgive. And once you forgive the truth, God will forgive you and make you free.
I will work on it, Jesse. I promise you that.
And you can have... What?
I love your show, and I'll keep listening, and I'm sure I'll call you back with more questions. I know you're short on time.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you taking my call and my ignorance. So
you're welcome. Call me again.
Okay, thanks, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Happy 4th of July, folks. Today is Independence Day. And it's so amazing that Independence Day come about during White History Month. And it makes sense because, after all, if it wasn't for white men, with the help of God, there would be no Independence Day. Isn't that amazing? There would be no Independence Day. So today, I want to encourage you. Do what you want, of course. But I want to encourage you, take a moment and reflect and be grateful. And then eat, have fun, laugh, grin, whatever you do. But at least take 5 minutes or less, 5 minutes, and be grateful that God gave the insight to some white men to discover and create the greatest country on this side of heaven. And as a result, a brand new document came about. It was signed on this day. And why today is so important? Because on July 4th, 1776. That sounds so nice, huh? 1776. An important document was signed, the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence. What does that mean to you, Hake? What is the Declaration of Independence? He started to Google real fast. Did you start to Google?
No.
Why did you go for your...
No.
Your hand was like that. It said, yes.
Mm-mm. I was going to take notes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I know your hand went for the computer.
Right. But I wasn't going to Google. The heck?
Right on.
It's that document that the founders signed that said, "We're free from you, king." No king. The unjust king from a far away over the sea land.
Far away where?
From England. And they said, we're pledging our loyalty to one another and to this thing that we're committed to, this new country that we're making.
It's interesting that had we lost, we would be subject to England today.
Yeah, just like Canada.
And Canada is subject to England?
Sort of.
Yeah, because the Queen owned Canada, huh?
Well, she doesn't anymore. She's in heaven.
But her husband owned it.
Somebody. It's not her husband. I think it's her son. I don't know. He's old too.
But when he died, won't his children own it?
Yep.
So the England, the Queen, the King, and then soon the son own Canada, quote unquote. You know, we call it passed down.
Yeah, they own all the land of Canada.
Really?
Personally. And I learned this from the anchor baby who's
I did
nodding
too.
along. Yeah.
The King of England own all the land in Canada.
Yeah. And yet it's so odd because the king, the royalty, they have no power. They just go along with the whims of the cultural, they're like tumbleweeds.
But if they wanted to throw everybody out of Canada, they could, right?
Nope.
So
I bet you they couldn't.
What's the purpose of owning the land then?
Tradition. Owning it in name only.
Oh, Nick, did they buy the land or they took the land?
Who, the English? Yeah.
Okay. So
At one time, the British Empire owned like a whole bunch of the world.
I think I know what's going on.
What?
The English, the Anglos, are more nice than the French, for example. Because the French got their heads chopped off when they owned anything, right?
Revolution.
Right? Yeah, the French Revolution. I thought of that because across the street there's this tagging, this artistic tagging on some electrical box on the sidewalk that says, "Oh, there's an untapped market for guillotines." Guillotines are the French thing that chop people's heads off machine.
Oh yeah.
Here in America right about now. And so there are evil people who fashioned themselves after the way of the French Revolution, as opposed to the more American Revolution or even Canadian or whatever, Anglo repentance from having kings and descending into democracy. I shake my head.
It's all over their system. I mean, it's all in the name of the king. But it's like a tradition, Jesse. You're asking, like, are they a sovereign country? I mean, if it came down to it, they pretty much run themselves with their own laws, right?
Yeah.
It's just two traditions have kind of lasted in parallel. This respect to the crown and this long tradition of having their own laws. So
they just think it's kind of cool, and I do too, honestly, a little bit. They think it's kind of cool to remember and recognize the family. The family is supposed to hold to themselves to a royal standard and a good traditional standard, and then and they can peacefully coexist and honestly be subservient to the real democracy or whatever is running the show now.
Oh man! So there was a war, and they won the war over Canada.
I may have lied about that.
I forget about that.
You forgot?
What did John A. MacDonald do, Canadians?
How did they?
I forget. They tried to teach us this in school, but
how did they come to own the land, though?
Yeah, they call it. I've heard historians call it a bloodless revolution. So
that's nice.
I hear that is very peaceful,
civilized,
and over time. But I forget the details. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Wow, man. And so the king and the queen just became. They're not like the owner. They own the land, but because they're the king and queen, but the government fought for the land.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, well, I mean, no, not really, because the kings, I think, are the ones who did the conquest, their ancestors.
Oh.
And then they transitioned.
Sorry, what?
Then they transitioned.
Still talking about Canada?
Yeah.
My apologies.
Because Canada is owned by England because of the royalty took over Canada. And then England and Canada kind of went more towards this democracy stuff, following in the footsteps, I guess, of America.
Essentially is over time. I mean, I just quickly searched it up a little bit, but yeah, I am right. They do describe Canada as that bloodless revolution.
You just looked on Google right now?
Yeah. Just to confirm that people did, in fact, describe Canada's separation from British rule, in a sense, as a bloodless revolution, and that it was over time, essentially. So
I'm trying to get my mic right.
I respect it.
Thank you.
And I respect that you're releasing the mute button before you try to speak again.
You yelled at me enough about it.
Good.
I've been traumatized. But that's amazing.
It's the only way I know how to do it.
And so here's a clip about the origin of Independence Day.
For America.
For America, not Canada, America. This is from Click View.
Independence Day marks the beginning of the American colonies' separation from the British Empire. In the late 18th century, many colonists were dissatisfied. They had to pay taxes to the British government despite having no representation in the British Parliament, and therefore no say in the laws that affected them. They rebelled against this notion of taxation without representation. British troops were sent to try to stop the early stirrings of rebellion, which only made the problem worse. In early 1776, a group of men met in Philadelphia to draft a document that would break America's ties with Great Britain. This meeting was known as the Second Continental Congress. Thomas Jefferson wrote the groundbreaking first draft, which was reviewed and amended by Benjamin Franklin and John Adams. The document they created is known as the Declaration of Independence, and its final version was officially adopted on July 4th, 1776. It was signed by delegates from all 13 colonies. These delegates are the country's founding fathers.
Amazing. Why you say, oh?
I reacted emotionally and in disgust against the red communist fists that they put up when they were talking about revolution and rebellion.
I thought that's what it was.
Yep. Because that's sort of communist propaganda, I think.
Oh.
You notice that looking at history at our vantage, it really was how great these nations were that separated from Britain. I mean, it was in proportion to how fantastic their separation was too. I mean, they carved out. The Americans were able to carve out more of the important land, so they literally had more, and so they grew as a much greater nation. And Canada is just 10% of America. You can see how, in proportion, this bloodless revolution to this American dynasty that was carved out. So
amazing,
huh?
With great blood, there was we were living in like greatness, but it was with great, call it awesome in the truest sense of the word, right? Greatness in all ways.
Yeah,
and violence and
a lot of violence,
and all that.
You know, I noticed that when I was watching that, they were very organized. To have delegates from all 13 colonies and all that, and put it together in an orderly way, that is impressive and pretty cool. And different from how the commies do it.
They're not like the millennials.
It is
Indeed, they're not.
I mean, that's what makes that document, no? I mean, someone was asking me the other day, like, what's the Constitution and all that? What does it mean and matter? And it's like, it matters only if if enough of the right men care about it.
Right.
If enough of the correct men care about it, then it totally matters.
Yeah. And I don't think it was that long, because everybody didn't have input into it. They just agreed with it or not after one man, and Thomas Jefferson apparently, and then 2 or 3 or 4 other men had their little input, and then they agreed to it. It wasn't these huge bills that everybody has to agree to now. Like the big beautiful bill has like thousands and thousands, maybe tens of thousands of pages.
Yeah.
Obamacare and all that. It was much more. That was another aspect of the orderliness. It wasn't so huge that nobody wants to read it.
Because men were in charge.
Yeah.
Real men, not beta males.
That's right.
Amazing. Speaking of something else that is so great, and speaking of king, they call Donald Trump the Great White Hope King. To the point they have King rally days. And some people are mad at the king, but they still call him king. And in some cases, they call him dad. They call him dad. And in some cases, they call him the Great White Hope. What manner of man is this? Today is another amazing day, because today the Great White Hope will be signing the big, beautiful bill if passed. And remember, Donald Trump said, I want this done by July 4th. He said it. And the liberals and the children of the lie were saying, that's not going to happen. They're going to make sure that doesn't happen. And they try hard to make sure it didn't happen. That little Hakeem, whatever his name, that's supposed to be like the manager of the Democrats. Hakeem, that's his name?
Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah.
Hakeem Jeffries.
He black. He was up there talking for hours, trying to stall the vote. It did not work. He was talking loud and saying nothing. So congratulations to the king, the Great White Hope. Daddy, what manner of man is this? Donald Trump. According to CBS News, the House on Thursday passed the signature to a piece of legislation of President Trump, second term, approving a massive bill. Why is this from Fox News is reporting that every single House Democrat voted against the bill. What the? Why is this from Fox News?
The yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
You could call House Speaker Mike Johnson a miracle worker after wrangling his party to pass President Trump's key legislative policy, the One Big Beautiful Bill.
We are delivering on our promise to make America great again.
Every single Democrat stands in strong opposition to this bill because we're standing up for the American people.
Democrats did everything they could to delay things, including a record-breaking nearly 9-hour speech from House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries before the final vote.
Donald Trump's deadline may be Independence Day. That ain't my deadline. We don't work for Donald Trump. We work for the American people.
The colossal bill makes Trump's 2017 tax cuts permanent, includes no tax on tips or overtime, increases funding for the border and the military, but also raises the debt ceiling and makes cuts to Medicaid and SNAP programs.
Amazing. You notice how the white man is trying to make America great again, while the black man is trying to destroy it. I rest my case. I rest my case. And you want these people to run your country. What a mess. While most Republicans cheered the decision, 2 voted no, according to Fox News.
President Trump has been right there talking to our members, walking them through why this bill's so important.
Vice President J.D. Vance weighed in on X, posting, "Congrats to everyone. At times I even doubted we'd get it done by July 4th, but now we've delivered big tax cuts and the resources necessary to secure the border." In the end, 2 House Republicans voted against it.
It's not Republican priorities. It adds to the debt and the deficit.
The White House says President Trump will sign the big beautiful bill on July 4th at 5 p.m.
Amazing. Happy 4th of July. Amazing, huh?
Yeah, I was taken aback a little bit. That really is Thomas Massey. He looks so much less nerdy now. He's trying to change his look. He's basically an image person.
Can we see a picture of him again?
He's like intellectual dark web, like Daily Wire Chad. Hold on. We're trying to get it here going. Hold up.
It's kind of like the before and after of Jordan Peterson.
Who is this guy?
Remember Jordan Peterson used
That's
to be
what I'm
kind of
getting
fat?
at, yeah. That's exactly what I'm getting
And he
at.
changed his image.
Who did?
So Thomas Massey, we used to think of as like a principled conservative, nerdy, nice, and but good guy.
Oh, oh yeah. That's
Remember,
him.
he used to be clean shaven and a little bit
Glasses.
fat, and he had nerdy glasses, and he's like a, and see, look at him.
This is what he used to look like.
Oh man.
With the badge, with the little badge that kicks up the debt. And then it's like,
now people say, people on X say that the conservatives and against Trump.
And so why they keep voting him in then?
Well, out of Kentucky, right? I think he's
right.
the guy from Kentucky.
Yeah.
He deceived even me, maybe. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying his only role is that, but that's what people say.
Oh, I see.
So, but he goes against Trump, and it's supposedly, seemingly on these principled things. We don't spend too much, and he's like a Rand Paul type of a guy.
I see.
Or Ron Paul almost.
But
they're saying this is not fiscally conservative. They can't vote on this because it's not fiscally conservative. A lot of people are like myself, who wouldn't even be this like granular in this politics world. I'm seeing this guy like, wait, but this is like the biggest thing for the border.
Right.
So a lot of people are wondering, can I take this a little further? Consider this, like this bill, all the Democrats say no. This is probably how it always goes. But I'm like starting to really watch this.
Right.
Hold up. So these bills are always, so the only opposition is Republicans, like within themselves.
Yeah.
But this is the story I'm being told. Oh, this bill hits our desk. It's such a huge bill. It's a big pork bill, and we just have to pass it because it's just hard to agree. You know, we all have to agree, and it ends up being this huge bill. Can you guys tell me if they're fighting just amongst themselves, so it's just the Republicans who want all this pork that they complain about? What am I not getting here?
I think it is. And then there's probably Democrats who secretly agree with it, but they already know they'll vote against it. They'll secretly agree with some aspects of it, but they already know that they don't need to vote for it. A person will vote no if they know it's already going to pass anyway.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter if they vote no. And so there's all this pretense.
Also, they're voting against it because they hate Donald Trump. That's the primary reason.
Yeah.
They don't want Donald Trump to be a winner. And so that's the primary reason. I'm sure they disagree with other stuff that's in the bill, but the primary reason is to try to stop Donald Trump.
I think that's what people are saying about Massey and stuff. It's like, wait, on such a win here, you're going to go and say no?
They say that Rand Paul, or I think Rand Paul maybe, but him and Thomas Massey are basically glorified government-funded podcast hosts and influencers. They just talk a good game, and they say the right principles, but when it comes down to it, they don't do anything good.
Amazing.
But
well, congratulations. I noticed that I remember when the Democrats were running everything, and the right-o Republicans were not under the direction of Donald Trump. The right-os who go along with everything the Democrats had decided.
Bipartisan.
Everything is.
Yeah, that's partly what's a count in favor of the bill is that all the Democrats are against it.
Yeah.
Sort of. Because bipartisan usually means evil. In my mind.
Amazing. Here is President Trump celebrating a major legislative win at the Owl Park Fairground after the House passed the big, beautiful bill from Fox 11.
Passed President Trump's big, beautiful bill today, and tonight he is celebrating. He's in Des Moines, taking a victory lap at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. His signature bill makes his 2017 tax cuts permanent. The president said this a short time ago.
The phenomenal victory we achieved just hours ago when Congress passed the one big, beautiful bill to make America great again. Last election, the people gave us a historic mandate to cut taxes, raise take-home pay, bring back jobs, stop the invasion, that horrible invasion. Who would do that? Who would do that? That horrible, who would do that to us? Who would do that to us? Deport the illegals and slash hundreds of billions of dollars of waste and fraud, and that's what we're doing.
The president will sign the bill tomorrow at a White House ceremony at 2 p.m. our time on the 4th of July, which was the arbitrary deadline he gave Congress. He said he wanted to sign it the 4th of July, and he got his way because the Republicans listened to him.
They didn't get his way. He didn't get his way because the Republicans listen. It's the right thing to do. Amazing. It's amazing how so far everything that Donald Trump has tried to do is done. Everything he touched so far, including ending the Israel and Iran war and blowing up the stuff over there in Iran and just everything.
Yeah. And there's always little setbacks and people who are trying to stop them, and
Always.
they succeed at little things.
That's how life is. You're going to always have evil inside a human being trying to stop you.
Yeah.
Stop good. It's just the way it is. But evil has no authority, so it cannot stop good if you really operated from that.
Somebody made the point that all his life there's been this huge out of control spending.
Yeah.
But this is the first time in his life that the spending is for America, on Americans.
Amazing. It reminds me of the good old days when before the government was all big. It used to be a small government.
Yeah.
And it was headed up by white men, and things was floating along really well. The government never been 100% right, but at least it was working. And then the people of color got involved. Brady is the first time caller out of Arizona. Brady, you're on the air.
Oh, right on. Amazing.
Oh, amazing.
One thing I think now that Donald Trump has stopped all the weapons for NATO and the Ukraine war, I think that situation over there is going to be wrapping up. And I'm wondering why the Democrat Party did just not stop arming Ukraine. Maybe in 2014, maybe if we would never have given them any weapons, we wouldn't be over in the Ukraine right now.
Well, the Democrats, they want confusion. They want war. They want division between the people here in America. Because for them, in their mind, it means money and power. So that's why they supported it rather than ending it. So the Democratic Party is a war party. It's not a good party.
I wish they would stop the war machine and stop Israel and not give them either one weapon of war either.
And why is that? Why Israel is our friend? Why do you want to not help them?
I don't really consider Israel my friend because they're the ones that killed Jesus. I'm sick of the lie that we have to cover for the pitiful Jew all my life. I have respect for the Jews.
Repeat. I'm sorry. You have no what?
I have no respect for what they have done to Jesus, who is my God.
And so Jesus is your God?
Jesus is the God is Yahweh. His son is Yeshua.
So
the Jews and the Romans.
Speak English. Is Jesus your God?
Jesus is my Savior and my Messiah.
Oh, and so you're mad because the rabbis and the people over there they killed Jesus?
Correct. Most of the stuff.
Do you love the Jews?
No, I don't. I despise the Jews.
Really? And so how is it that Jesus could be your God, but you still hate your fellow man? How is that possible?
Well, Jesus whipped the Jewish bankers back then, too, so I'd probably be along right with them doing the same thing. I despise them. They've been thrown out of
How is it that you say that Jesus is your God, and you hate your fellow man?
Well, because they're the ones that were responsible for Yeshua's death.
Does God hate the Jews because the rabbis killed Jesus?
God despises the Jews because all rabbis are demons.
So you think that God is of anger?
He's not anger, but he despises other people that despise him.
Do you think that God is of hate?
God is of a hate of something that is so evil, yes.
So you
he
think
is a loving God.
You believe that God has hatred in him?
God has hatred in him towards the Jews and the evil devil, yes.
And what's your proof of that?
He even whipped the Jews back then when the evil bankers. Look at all the countries that the Jews have been thrown out of now, 110.
What's your proof that God hates the Jews?
Well, I guess I won't say necessarily the Jews, but he despises the devil, and what they're all about is the devil. They don't pray to Jesus.
So
They
are
pray
you
to the
saying
devil.
that so you're saying that God hate the Jews? I don't quite know. How old are you, Scott?
I'm 58.
58.
I'm 58.
And
58.
So you believe that God hates someone?
I don't know if I necessarily say hate, but he despises them.
What
He
does despise mean?
He no like. How about he no likes them? You know
what?
He doesn't. They're not the tribe of Judah. They're what they've done against the Bible and how they've rewritten it and how they saying they're just the pitiful party of the Jews and we're all supposed to feel sorry for them. I don't follow that BS. I'm done with it.
And so you have no. God said that you should love even your enemies, and so you don't love what you imagine to be your enemies.
I'm sorry. That's one thing I'm lacking. I have no respect for the devil. Sorry.
So God said for you to love your enemies. Do you love your enemies?
No, I don't love beating Netanyahu at all.
And so you're not of God then, because anyone that has hatred is of their father, the devil.
It's not hatred; it's I just despise them. I don't like them.
And what's your definition of despising?
I'm going to say I have no respect then, or I have nothing inside this body of any positive emotion towards that group of people.
And so you have no love.
Oh, I have plenty of love, but it's just not for the Jews. I'm sorry.
You have no love. God sent his son. Did God send his son for all who will accept him?
Well, unfortunately, but God also told Jesus to lift the bankers.
Did God send his son for all who will accept him?
Well, he's been trying to take on a lot of the sins of this planet, but the biggest.
Did God send his son for all who would accept him?
Well, he did send. He said it for all our sins. Yes.
Did God send his son for all who will accept him?
Yes, he did. He did bring him down for that. Yes.
And did God say to love your enemies?
God said to love my enemies, but when they don't recognize Jesus as the Messiah, why would you even spend any time on them?
Did God say love your enemy? Don't love your enemy if they don't recognize Jesus as Messiah. Did he tell you that?
I don't know, but he certainly
did. He tell you that?
He didn't like Baphomet, did he?
Did he tell you that?
He didn't tell me directly.
So how did you come up with that idea then? Where'd you get that from?
Oh, I go from the fact that I look back in the Bible and like when he was dealing with the Jewish bankers, how they were doing the money system back then, and he whipped them. How many people did you know that Jesus whipped?
Scott, if you don't love all, you love none, and you're of your father, the devil.
Well, I follow not the devil.
Yes, you do.
I respect.
If you don't love all, you love none, and you're of your father, the devil. How old are you, Scott? I'm sorry. How old are you?
My name's Brady, and I'm 58.
I mean Brady. My bad. You're 58?
Yes.
So how is it possible that you love God, but you hate all people?
I put it this way. I love God, Yeshua, Yahweh, the Christian faith, and I despise
You're not answering my question. How is it possible you love God, but hate all people?
I don't hate all people.
Yes, you do. He said, if you don't love all, you love none.
Well, you're kind of doing a big generalization there, Jesse.
Is it true or not that if you don't love all, you love none?
How about we don't love all?
Is it true or not that if you don't love all, you love none?
I love some, but not all. I'll
Is
leave
it
at
true
that, I
or
guess.
not that if you don't love all, you love none?
You really want me to say true or false or what?
Is it true or not that if you don't love all, you love none?
I guess I'll say it's truthful on that one, but
And
I
so
don't.
how is it you can say you love God but you hate people?
I said I despise the devil and anything that's about him.
How is
God.
it that you can say you love God but you hate people?
I don't know. I guess that's the way I was brought up. I've been
And so you're
tormented by
58 years old. You going to die that way?
I've been dealing with devils and demons all my life, Jesse.
You're 58 years old, claiming you love God, but you hate human beings. You going to die that way?
I'm hoping I'm more closer just because I despise what the Jews are doing to us.
You're 58 years old, and you claim you love God, but you hate your fellow man. Are you going to die that way?
Probably because I'm not going to forgive what the Jews did to Jesus.
Well, then
I'm sorry.
stop claiming that you love God then. God is a forgiving God. He doesn't even remember sin. But you are an unforgiving person who these people have done nothing to you, and you claim you're mad because they hate Jesus, and that's insanity.
Well, I don't support the synagogue of Satan, and that's what Jesus said.
No, you don't support God
at
at all. You are an enemy of God. You're worse than the people that you hate.
Wow, that's a big generalization.
No,
there.
that's the truth.
Well, that's your opinion.
Who
on
is
that one.
worse, the judger or the judgees?
I don't know, but God
Who
said
is
to cast the
worse?
evil ones.
Who is worse, the judger or the judgees?
I would have to say probably someone who's like the judges, because you're forced to cast an opinion.
So you're worse than the people you're judging.
I don't think I'm worse than anybody. I'm just
yes, you
calling
are.
out
You're
people
of your
as-
father, the devil.
No, I'm not. I'm
No,
calling
you're
out the
of
devil.
your father, the devil. You have no love, and Satan has no love.
I'm calling out Satan and showing
No,
you
you're
how
not.
rotten he
You're
is.
calling out yourself.
He's rotten.
No,
And the
you're
thing
rotten.
Well, this conversation is going completely 100% opposite of what I'm actually think, Jesse.
I know
So-
you want me to agree with your hatred of your fellow man while claiming you love God. You're a liar, and the truth is not in you.
do you think God is proud
We're
of
talking
what
about you.
know?
God is love. In him, there is no hate. But in you, you're of your father, the devil.
Well, I don't belong to the synagogue of Satan. Do
yes,
I
you
support
do.
it? No.
You
No.
belong to the devil.
I don't know. I basically have conversations with Yeshua and Yahweh all day. And I don't
No,
really
you
do
have a
that.
conversation with the devil, and you call the devil Yeshua, your Galway.
No, that's a little bit spun around there.
No, you're of your father. I have no doubt that you are of your father, the devil. You're just like the rabbis in those days who were of their father, the devil, and they hated Jesus because Jesus told them the truth. You are no different.
The demons and the rabbis
You
of today
are no
one and
different.
one. I'm very much different.
No, you have the same
very
demons
much.
in you that the rabbis of those days had in them. You have no love.
Just like I've listened to several rabbis, and the one was Abe Finkelstein, and he said, one of the
You
weird
have
things,
no
you know,
love.
Look at what some of these people
You
have done.
you need to be looking at you. Why don't
I
you
have-
look
I-
at yourself so you can overcome the devil?
Well, I've been working on it.
How are
on
you
it.
working on it?
I don't know. Have you ever been attacked by the devil or a demon in your life, Jesse?
All human beings with anger such as you have, and judgments, are being attacked by their father, the devil. So you're under attack by demons, and you claim to love God, and you don't. And until you really examine your heart and see and admit to yourself, you don't want to tell the world, you don't have to, that you're of your father, the devil, you're never going to be free.
Well, I try to be as close as I can to God.
But you're nowhere near God. You have no relationship with God at all.
Huh. That's unfortunate you think that. But
no, it's true.
I don't know. I speak with God regularly. I think
no,
I
you
have
don't.
a good reason.
So what?
Just because
you say you speak with God regularly and what?
I said, just because I cast out the Jews for who they are, I'm not offended or ashamed of it.
No, you should be ashamed of worshiping the devil and calling him God.
Huh. I didn't ever know that was Yeshua or Yahweh was the same thing as Satan. I guess that's in your book?
Yeah, you're worshiping the devil and calling him Yahweh.
Oh, that's a totally blasphemous statement there.
It's the truth. You do not know God, because if you knew God, you would love even your enemy or whomever you consider to be your enemy. Brady, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Take care, buddy.
Happy White History Month, Brady.
Happy what?
Happy White History Month.
Same to you.
All right,
Same to you, my brother.
All right.
Take care.
Bye. I want to get you guys' response to this video. All right? And this is from X. Hundreds of black dads in Chicago pulled up for a daddy stroll to proudly celebrate being present fathers. Watch this from X.
Passed President Trump's big, beautiful bill today, and tonight he is celebrating.
That's not it.
Let me refresh my thing here. I was supposed to refresh this. It'll show me the wrong title if I don't do that. Here we go. Daddy Stroll.
Yo, I'm Ad 2, and I'm the father of Ace and Daniels. I'm Mike Kell, and I'm a father to Ocean. Courtney Davis, and I'm the father of Mia Davis.
Big Twan, man. This is Myla. This is Antoine Jr.
I'm Rendell, and with my daughter, Savannah.
I'm Vic, here with V3, Victor III. Excited to be out here at the Daddy Stroll.
Miles, I'm here with Maddox. This is my son. Ready for the Daddy Stroll today.
Right, my name is Brendan Hall. I'm with Elijah, and he's 2 years old.
I'm Javari, father of 2, Amory, and Amara.
Right, my name is AJ Ames. This is Jackson right here. He's 1 year old, and I got a 3-year-old, Jace, right here.
My name is Kyle, and I'm a father to Nadia, Amira, and my son Carson.
Hi, I knew you. Look.
You did it. Yay.
Amazing.
Daddy's home.
What do you think about that?
Hake's got. Why are you making that face? It's dads. It's dads, and it's like we're in the park. What you want them rapping and
racism? What face was I making? I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm judging. You're supposed to not judge
Duplicate
with the
my
face.
Oh yeah, don't judge with looks. I was judging with looks.
Don't judge with
thoughts, ideas, emotions,
and gestures,
or gestures. I was cringing.
Cringing?
Which is not manly.
Why?
What do you say about that, Anchorman?
I have one question first for you, Jesse. I need you to settle a debate I was having.
Okay.
Who pushes the baby stroller? Who was it before? Like, the argument is, well, the man is like the man. He'd be more fast and able to deal with the baby and all that, so he should be pushing the stroller in public. Or is it the woman? Did she used to push the stroller in public? Who did that, Jesse?
I'll tell you that after we discuss this. I will respond.
You know, I thought it was nice, right? It's like it's better than what? killing, not families and all that. I do get this impression. I've seen a little bit of this, black fathers and going online and like making it an example of being present. And it always struck me as a little early in the game. Like, hey, I'm here. They're always there, and it's like a little baby. And it's like, nice. It's like being the present. It's like 18 years, right? So let's see what being present results into. I always thought that to myself a little bit.
Interesting.
It's a little early to get your glory.
That's when the mother's
maybe.
supposed to be there,
right?
With the kid, with
That's
the little
exactly
baby.
It. Yeah, I always thought it was a little early for the glory, but
Okay.
it's better than no families. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you say?
That was beautiful, in all honesty.
And what was beautiful about it?
Seeing all those fathers together with their children, walking the streets. I think it's promoting a beautiful message.
And what's the message?
The message is, hey, this community is filled with fathers that love their children, and we're going to show it. And I think if I was out there, I'd be out there too. I don't know about a stroller. I'd probably hold my baby, you know.
How many children do you have?
I don't have any children.
You black.
What does that mean?
You're supposed to.
Oh, I'm black? Oh.
You supposed to make babies out of wedlock.
And would it be a baby daughter like most of the rest of those guys?
I don't know. Whatever the Lord blesses me with, I wouldn't, you know, whatever he blesses me with. I don't care. But, you know, women are awesome too. Sort of.
Carver says
women are awesome too, sort of.
I'm just kidding. No. I love them all. But I think it's awesome.
And what's awesome about it?
Yeah, just like I said, it's you going out in public. I don't know exactly where they were, but they were out in Chicago promoting fatherhood. I think that's a beautiful message.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I think that's pretty much it, man. It's beautiful. What you got to say, Hank?
What do you say about Hank?
Carver says Derek looks so much cooler today, but he can't quite put his finger on it. Why?
Because you can't see his eyes.
Oh.
It is a cool look.
Don't tell him that. He's going to wear that patch forever.
Well, I think it's his personality that makes it cool.
Oh, a country.
Yeah.
You can take the N-word out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the N-word.
I know that's right. America.
What do you think about it, Hank?
Well, first of all, like, I'm blown away by how great of a point Nick made that it's early to be hanging out with your kids when you're a father and they're just little babies. That is a mother thing to do, is go out with your babies. Fathers go out with their kids who are capable of walking and running and playing on their own. That's what normal, also known as white fathers, typically do. Nowadays, now you could probably catch some white fathers with strollers and stuff like that.
I see it all the time.
I once saw a Mexican cholo-looking young guy, probably my age at the time, in his 20s or younger, and he was carrying his little baby with like a suitcase, and it looked like he was trying to be cool, and it was better than that. I also wonder if this was put together by a woman. It was like it was a woman-oriented notion of, we have this
That's
problem.
a good point.
We have this problem. Let's solve it with this symptom-solving solution of having the man there and the man involved. But the man not there is not the problem. It's a symptom of the root problem.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when they had this problem called teen pregnancy. What was their solution for teen pregnancy? Condoms. Still have sex out of wedlock, still be irresponsible, but let's have abortion and condoms and stuff. So, and pornography and things like that. So they have false solutions to misdiagnosed problems.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it just, I cringe, and I know that I shouldn't cringe, but it's not manly. I noticed that the young man, there was one son. I guess I'm not doing the assignment of letting my words be few. There was one son who was like grown there. It's like in his early teens or mid-teens. and he didn't look happy to be there. It was just the girly fathers and the girly little daughters and a few handful of baby sons.
My computer guy just texted me, and he agrees with you. He bet it was organized by women too.
Yeah.
Amazing. How do you respond to what James just said there?
No, I completely agree.
How you agree? You just said it was all beautiful.
Talking about this boy right here, right?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
actually, I didn't notice him. There was another guy who had like a little afro, a little boy maybe that size, but maybe taller, young man who had an afro. He said, "This is my son, something junior," or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I
this is my
remember
baby, and then this is my son, junior.
Yeah. How you agree, and then you just said it was all beautiful, and if you had a baby, you'd be out there too.
I'd be out there because I know how black people think. They're showers, you know, and if you see all these black people out there, all these black fathers out there with their babies, in the back of a black person's mind, like in most black people's mind, they'd be thinking, "Oh wow, look at those fathers. You know, they're actually out there with their children. You know, some of them might be, you know, I got that cringe feeling too, but it would stick in the back of that cringe feeling that, oh my gosh, this video, you know, these guys are all out here with these strollers. You know, oh my gosh. You know,
so why'd you say it was beautiful then?
The reason I said that is because it's going to be in people's minds.
What is?
As far as just this event, all these black fathers out there with their children. The point is that it's going to stick in their minds. And
but you agree with hate too?
Yeah, but I agree with hate. Yeah, it was girly for sure.
Oh, okay.
But the point is that it's going to stick in their minds.
Amazing.
That's really it.
Oh, okay.
To get it in their minds, because people are forgetful, you know. And if you don't...
Why you need to put that image in their mind?
Oh, well...
A cringing image, you said.
A cringing image, yeah.
Why would you need to put that in their mind?
The point is just saying...
Do you
black
want them to
fathers
put the loving
in,
thing? Or you said a beautiful and loving. Or do you want them to put the cringing image?
Cringe-worthy image.
Cringe-worthy image in their mind. Which one you prefer?
At this point, I mean, yeah, I understand it's cringe, but I'll take it, you know, as long as we're getting that image of a fathers being in their children's lives, in their minds. Like, if it's packaged sort of in a cringe way, it is what it is, man. We got to get it in their minds.
Okay. And how do you respond to that, Nick? What the Anchor Baby said? Not the Anchor Baby, but Hake.
Yeah, you know, now it's hard not to see it as like a desperate thing. It's hard not to see it that way. And when you see a crowd of people doing something desperate, like, let's be present. Look how present we are. Let's be present to combat this thing. You know that whatever they're combating has already won in a sense, and it's we gotta rethink this.
Yeah,
and that's really the mama way. So it's hard not to look at that crowd and think that this is not very helpful. Actually, that's when I hear that, when you put it like that, it's hard not to see it that way.
And I was going to say real quick, you know, men today, they're already pretty much feminized. There's no going back from that. I mean, we can only look forward. And these guys, how they're acting, for them, or to tell them, hey, stop pushing your babies in a stroller, you know. You're telling them to stop being themselves. You know, you got to let these guys just be themselves, and we got to really focus on the future.
Yeah.
That's pretty much why I'm addressing it the way I am.
Amazing.
Yeah.
When I agree that without proof, I believe firmly that women organize this thing, black women. I doubt if one black man up there organized that. But also, when I saw it, I almost felt ashamed for them. I felt embarrassed for them. This is probably the worst thing I ever seen in my whole life.
Okay. Okay.
This is probably the worst thing since I've been on this earth. I think this is the worst thing.
Oh, the worst?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Really, it's so ridiculous and so insane that I don't even know how those men allow whoever convinced them to do this. Really, I don't know. You have to be high or something. I couldn't believe it. Do you know, and I was reflecting as I was watching it, and right now I may remember seeing this before, but I've never seen a black man push a baby in a stroller.
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
No, not really.
I see white men doing it, and they're so weak.
Yeah, I see that all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see little hakes out there just. I'm just kidding.
I've done it. I've pushed
You
my
have?
I pushed my
Oh.
nieces and nephews in strollers.
Really?
Oh Lord.
I pushed my. I went for a jog with my sister and ran with the jogging stroller. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh Lord.
I'm never gonna live that down.
I didn't know that.
I have never seen a black man push a baby in a stroller. I don't. Now I may later remember. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. But it's a white thing.
Yeah.
These white women making their baby daddies push babies in strollers and carry
Or
the baby
dogs
and carry the
in
baby
strollers.
in the little sack in front of the belly like they're pregnant. I've never seen a black man do that. And this is not normal. Men don't do this kind of mess. What are they supposed to be proving? And when they get home or run on the other side of this film, and I bet you the woman ruling, the black woman ruling. This is like, I think this is the worst thing I ever seen. Really, I felt embarrassed for them a little bit. I just felt embarrassed for them.
Embarrassed.
That's really the problem. That's really what's wrong. You want to say, oh, well, we want to promote fathers,
Hey,
but
this
to
ain't
go against
promoting
this is not to
fathers.
not promote fathers.
Right.
It's not going to work because it's not even led by fathers.
This is not promote fathers at all.
All right, we don't know.
And this doesn't prove that black men are fathers in the home either.
We
Yeah,
don't know
it's
100%.
girly fathers.
We don't know 100% if this is organized
Doesn't
by
prove it.
women.
Right.
But
I do.
we
know,
can assume.
I know 100% is ridiculous.
We could smell
Okay,
the spirit.
okay.
You know, I always loved that aspect of your message and wanted you to make sure that you got that out there, because it's not that the fathers are not in the home. It's also that it's a weak father in the home.
Right.
Because that's the experience of the rest of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Is like a weak father in the home.
If these men are in the home with these children, probably most of them not even in the home with them, but let's say they are. The woman is ruling it. They're like the baby to the mother of these children. The father is.
Yeah.
This is so ridiculous, it's not even funny. This is probably the worst thing I ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, no, I understand that point. But I'm looking for the good, man.
Ain't no good in this.
I'm looking for the
You
good.
couldn't find good in this if you dug for it for like gold.
If you took off that eye patch,
Yeah.
If I took wow, that's good.
you wouldn't find it.
That's really good. I like that.
And one last quick thing. So that's ridiculous, folks. It's a shame, really. And those men should, I don't know, it's just ridiculous.
I knew it's bad, but I know that I recognize that there's something missing in me because I don't see. I'm like, see, I didn't see it was that bad.
It's
You know what I
worse
mean?
than, I can't even express how bad this is.
Like I remember feeling wrong. Like there was something in me when I was
Yeah.
sitting in the passenger seat with young girlfriends. So I still had some. So I know that there's something, but
Yeah.
something's also missing because, I'm thinking, I'll push that stroller if it's like a weird street I don't like. I don't know. I just have like it's definitely missing somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the millennial or whatever.
I have never seen a black man push a stroller.
This isn't. Yeah, it's definitely
This is
not a normal thing.
Isn't even bad when white men are doing it. It's worse with these black men faking it.
Yeah, it's definitely not a normal thing. And I'm still standing on my stance. It's important that we get it in their minds. But because a majority of black kids don't have a father in their life. But is it the worst thing in the world? I see your point. I see your point.
Stroller doesn't mean they're in the children's life either.
Yeah, that's true.
Most likely they're not.
I know that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Derek said an untruth, according to the liberals,
What?
who may have a point about the facts of the situation. They claim, and you've heard this before, whether you remember it or not, that black fathers are actually more likely to be involved in their children's life.
That's a
Just
lie.
because they're not married to the woman doesn't mean they're not there and involved. So
that's not true.
I know, but if they're there and involved, it's kind of like that.
Yes.
It's not right.
Yeah.
They're
It's out of order.
The woman made them be mama. Take care of this baby.
Let me show you the reality of the black family from CBS News. 4 people were killed. At least 14 others were wounded in a drive-by mass shooting outside of a restaurant and lounge in Chicago River North neighborhood on Wednesday night. Watch this from CBS News.
Erica, police have confirmed this shooting that left 2 men and 2 women in their 20s dead was not random. This was a targeted shooting. I asked the Chicago police superintendent about concerns that this incident was gang-related, with corresponding concerns about retaliation. Take a look at your screen. This new video shows the moment the car drove up to Artist Lounge at Chicago and Franklin, the people inside firing guns. You can actually see the flashes of light from the gunfire. We've blurred the images of the victims. The calls for help started coming in around 11, with 18 people shot, 4 of them killed.
Hey, squad, we need more ambos out here. We don't have nearly enough.
The venue targeted, according to police. We know the crowd was leaving the album release party for Chicago-born rapper Mellow Bucks, her new album, Hollyhood. She confirmed on social media many of the people hurt were her friends.
And here's the final song by city public safety leaders, including Brandon Johnson, the so-called mayor, responded to the mass shooting.
This wasn't some random shooting where someone just decided that they were going to shoot at this particular group of people.
Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling, joined by Mayor Brandon Johnson and other city public safety leaders addressing the mass shooting. Still unclear exactly how many shooters were involved, but police say there were 2 different calibers of shell casings found at the scene. Major concerns right now, heading into a holiday weekend.
The Chicago Police Department will be out in full force, making sure that we're keeping the city safe and protecting lives.
Superintendent Snelling didn't confirm or deny a connection to gang violence when I asked him, saying they're working with federal partners and would be prepared for retaliation.
We're also making sure that anything that we uncover, and there's a possibility of retaliation, we would have an idea of where that retaliation could occur, and we would put resources in place to prevent that.
We will not rest until there is full accountability. I'm calling on any Chicagoan who has any information about these mass shootings. I'm calling on anyone who has information to come forward.
We've been checking in with Chicago police throughout the day on this, of course. Right now, no one in custody, no arrest.
So you think black men staging a YouTube video of pushing black babies in a stroller gonna stop this from happening?
All right, good point. All right, we're going on break.
Back in a moment.
Good point. I'll address it.
So real fast, and then I get to some calls. How do you respond to? We'll start with Nick. So we start with the last video about the killing in Chicago. Will the baby pushing stroller a YouTube video shoot? Will that solve that problem?
The present fathers.
Yeah, did we finish that video where there is?
Yeah, we saw them both. We saw
okay.
all of the footage.
The
Brandon
report
Johnson.
of how many people were killed in Chicago.
It's like a week. It's like a every weekend thing, you know.
It's been that way for a long
time.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing it. I've been following the news with you guys now for a number of years.
4 people were killed, according to the report. At least 14 people wounded in a drive-by shooting, mass shooting.
To summarize for me, looking at the black community and the family and all that has been just a big lesson about human nature and what is happening with people, what is happening to the world. So to summarize, it's that you see this destruction, you see all that happening, and there's a source. You could draw it all the way back to the anger in the home and the things that set you off in this past. So to summarize, I mean, that's why your message has always been so deep. I mean, it's what's happening to people in their families, in their minds, in America.
And you think a photo shoot on YouTube with some weak man pushing babies in a stroller gonna solve it?
No, and the reason why
it may make it worse. But go ahead.
Because it's coming from this upside down order.
Yeah.
And the woman continuing to lead it, well, it just won't get better.
Yeah.
That's it.
Amazing. And you say?
You make a good point. I agree totally. But still in my mind, I think if we organize events like this, and we continue to push Christ, though it won't, completely eradicate the primary issue, which is fathers and not being in the homes.
Yeah.
I still believe it's important that we have meetups and things like this, sort of like going to church. It's important that we all meet up and fellowship to bring back remembrance to all of us.
Right
so,
on. Oh, amazing. And you say?
I say that violence may go up and down over the years, but they're not solving the real issue. So I don't know if turning everybody, we'll call it effeminate, is going to help or hurt the violence question.
It's going to make it worse.
It may.
No, it will.
Yeah.
Feminism does not work.
I know, but the violence is not the problem, is my point.
Right. Oh, okay.
They're trading one evil for another. Because
Yeah.
you can quit drugs. Many an atheist and many a degenerate person has quit drugs or
Right.
alcohol and remained evil and doing all kinds of other evil.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the same thing with the black community. They're not solving the issue.
What a mess. I can't believe that. That's the worst thing ever. Pushing the babies in the stroller for a photo shoot is worse than the 4 people killed and 14 wounded. It's worse than that.
I agree.
The baby pushing is worse than that.
Wow. Yep.
My argument would be how can we solve this issue?
A return to the order of God.
A return to the order
God
of
and
God.
Christ is man, man over woman, woman over children.
So events like this would be doing no good.
Not at all.
And so we should be having no events.
Not like that.
Not like that.
4th of July,
we should be
baby.
encouraging more masculine events.
What do you say to the blind people who think that saving lives is more valuable than, saving lives is, I don't know, nobody got killed at that thing, so how do you say it's worse than where they got killed?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're killing the soul of the children. What's more important to say is kill the soul, save the body, or save the body and kill the soul? I mean, kill the soul, save the soul and kill the body, or kill the body and save the whatever.
Are you saying they're killing the soul
Of
by
the children.
by
Not having love in the family, and especially from the father.
they're killing the soul by, I guess, posing as in like an feminine way?
No, having no love.
Having
Those
no
men
love?
had no love.
Blind people value life and lives and stuff like that.
Huh?
Blind people, I notice, everybody practically, meaning blind people, value lives and life out of like emotional knee-jerk moralizing thing.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to understand where the no love part was. I mean, I understand
Where's
that
the love in that? Pushing strollers.
Pushing Stroll. That's funny.
With a whole bunch of others looking like clowns.
Oh,
That's a good question.
Where's
Where's the
the
love
love
in that? That's actually a good question to answer.
Where is the
Where's the love in
I think
the whole video we saw?
I
'Cause
mean,
maybe
if
it's there.
All right. You could see the love in the unity, in the people, the man being with the child.
Buddy.
I don't know.
That was that was a photo shoot.
Was it a photo shoot?
On YouTube.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was a. I mean, maybe.
No,
Since
it
it's
was
on social media, but
why they put it on social media if it wasn't a photo shoot?
get people more involved.
That ain't gonna
promote
get
it.
nobody involved unless you get some more people to pose for a photo shoot. Oh, everybody want to be on YouTube.
I mean, today it's only natural that when you do events, you know, you post it on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Unless there's like legal stuff
Nice.
going on.